the regular Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting of April 15th, 2024. I'll call this meeting to order. We will start off with our open forum. So each speaker is to keep their comment period to 3 minutes to allow for sufficient time for others. Comments are to be an opportunity to address the HRA. Please refer to the HRA agenda and minutes webpage for additional ways to submit comments. You can also call into the open forum by dialing 1-415-655-0001 using webinar access code 2634-049-3312 and password 1234. Is there anybody here who would like to speak for the open forum? No. Anybody online? No. Okay. So we will move on to our next. If anybody does call in, let us know. That takes us to approval of the minutes of the regular Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting of March 18th, 2024. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Taking us to our first agenda item, which is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Either way. I will second Commissioner Hanson motion.
It has been moved and seconded. Any changes, comments, questions? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Taking us to item number 2, the consent calendar. Executive Director Pinley.
Thank you, Chair Vries-Daniels. The consent calendar contains several separate items, in this case just one item, which is acted upon by the HRA in one motion. Once the consent calendar has been approved, the individual items and recommended actions have also been approved. No further HRA action on these items is necessary. However, any HRA commissioner may request that an item be removed from the consent calendar and placed on the regular agenda for HRA discussion and action. All items listed on the consent calendar are recommended for approval. The sole item on your consent calendar tonight is consideration of a resolution authorizing the execution of a developer agreement with the West Hennepin Affordable Land Housing Trust, doing business as Homes Within Reach, for the acquisition, rehabilitation, and sale of houses under the New Home Program. That concludes the consent calendar for tonight.
Great. Is there anyone who wants to remove anything from the consent calendar? Right. Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent calendar has been approved. All right, that takes us to item number 4. Executive Director Palman.
Thank you. I will ask Assistant Director Julie Urban to present the staff report.
Thank you, Chair Vries-Daniels and members of the HRA. The Housing and Redevelopment Authority purchased the property at 6501 Penn Avenue South back in 2018 and has been seeking opportunities to assemble adjacent parcels in order to facilitate a higher quality, more impactful redevelopment project along the Penn corridor. In 2023, the adjacent property at 6525 Penn Avenue South became a tax forfeited property. Hennepin County recently established a purchase cost of $209,333.77 for the property and is offering the HRA the first opportunity to acquire it. That purchase price is valid until May 18th. The property has been vacant and in disrepair since 2020. The poor condition of the building and the site have made it a blight on the Penn corridor, and a significant investment would be needed to make the current building and parking area usable. It is also a small interior lot with challenging access and topography that make any redevelopment of the property on its own challenging. HRA acquisition of the property would create a larger, more usable parcel for redevelopment and allow for a significant investment in the corridor. As you know, an affordable housing developer presented a housing concept at the HRA work session this evening, and that concept envisions incorporating both 6501 and 6525 Penn Avenue. I would note that if the HRA chooses not to purchase the property, the county would make the property available through a public auction. Funds are available for the purchase in the Housing and Redevelopment Fund. That's based on the property being substandard, which we will have confirmed if you choose to move forward with the acquisition. And I will point out that there would be, there has been, and there will continue to be additional legal costs associated with the tax forfeited property. In order to have clear title, we're going to have to go through an extra process. With a normal acquisition, we would have closing costs that we won't have in this case because we just send a check and get a deed. But those extraordinary costs of getting a clear title will be higher than normal. But it is kind of the cost of doing business when it comes to tax forfeited properties, unfortunately. There's obviously, we feel a lot of benefit to getting that property back on the tax rolls. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Does anyone have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
And this, I'll say, we're discussing this, but this is also on my mind for the next agenda item. When or how would we know if we have to demolish the building or do major work to the building after we're the owner?
My hope is that we would leave it for the developer to demolish the building. We're never thrilled to manage vacant properties. It comes with a lot of challenges. We get support from other departments that help us. Police do extra drive-bys. Our inspectors keep their eyes open. We do our best. If we can avoid demolishing a property, we would rather not. It was expensive to demolish 6501. So our hope, when the inspector placarded 6501, I had actually sent him out to look at this building in hopes of pushing along something to happen, and he says, actually, that building isn't as bad as yours. So my hope is we'll find out as we get it inspected. It's certainly going to qualify as substandard and blighted, but hopefully it's in a condition that it can sit for a year until we're able to hopefully turn it over to someone else.
But just so I'm clear, sort of the structure of that decision is when the building official says it's going to fall over or it's structurally substandard, then we have to demolish it, and hopefully that doesn't happen until after it's sold to a developer?
Yeah. I think that, we can't guarantee it, but we think it should be, we should be fine for a time.
Okay, all right. Well, in general, I'm supportive of this. The purchase price seems reasonable for a property of that size, and this seems like, I hope it gets used for something more than a surface parking lot, but it seems like it will help the corner property.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to add one thing. Oftentimes and this applies even more so to the next item that we'll consider, but oftentimes we won't tear down a building because we want to preserve as much flexibility as we can in terms of financing and the use of tax increment. So we'll want to create a district once we have a developer and a development approved. Those demolition costs are a qualified cost that the developer can be reimbursed for. If we do that ahead of the creation of a district, they can't be reimbursed for those. We have to get those through the purchase. It makes it more complicated. So we do try to delay the demolition of those buildings to preserve that flexibility.
In the case of 6501, where we were forced to tear them down, we did have the council pass a resolution, but there's a time limit to when it would no longer be able to be part of a increment district.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I just like to say, I think this makes all the sense in the world for us to purchase the property, and that we're lucky that it's available through, tax forfeiture at this point. I can't comment on the structural integrity of the building, but certainly aesthetically, it's not an attractive building. And I think when we look back at it, we're probably lucky that the project for 6501 a few years ago didn't actually come through, because I think being able to tie that property in with 6525, the old Canine College, is going to make a much nicer improvement, enhancement to the entire block. If we had been left with 6525 as kind of a little vacant island there, it would have been, I think, harder to find a new use for it.
I'll move to adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of real property located at 6525 Penn Avenue South for $209,333.77, contingent upon a finding of consistency with the comprehensive plan by the Planning Commission.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, concerns? Yes, go ahead.
I think this is a good purchase from the standpoint that Commissioner Hanson already mentioned that he can put it together with the neighboring property to make a more comprehensive development. So I'm in support of this.
One question, I'm assuming that we do have the budget and funds to pay this year, is that correct? Seeing
Yes,
nods.
we do.
Yes,
Yep,
okay.
in the Housing and Redevelopment Fund.
Perfect, thank you. Any other comments, questions? We've been talking about this place for a while now, and so I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to buy it, and I agree about the purchase price, seems very reasonable compared to what we have paid for other lots in that area, so thank you very much. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes. Alrighty, item number 5, Community Development Executive Director.
Thank you, Chair
One of those.
Reese Daniels. Yes, one of my many titles. The HRA staff and the representatives of the former Metro Sales property have developed and maintained an excellent working relationship over the years, and together have been exploring redevelopment opportunities for the properties located between, your staff report should say between 1600 and 1710 78th Street East. These properties consist of 3 tax lots. 2 are owned by the HRA, and 1 is owned by the Karen A. Mathwig Trust, which was established by the late Jerry Mathwig, former owner of Metro Sales. The HRA owns the property at 1710 78th Street East and accepted the generous donation of the property at 1600 78th Street East from the trust in 2021. The trust owns the property in between those 2 lots, which consists of 1 tax lot that has 2 buildings on it, with the addresses of 1620 and 1640 78th Street East. The buildings are vacant and were the former location of Metro Sales, which has since consolidated its operations to its Burnsville location. The trust has been supportive of the city and HRA's vision to holistically redevelop the area and has been collaborative with HRA staff to explore those redevelopment options. However, the current economic climate has made capital projects challenging and development has slowed. Meanwhile, the trust continues to have carrying costs for its buildings at 1620 and 1640. With the uncertainty of when redevelopment may occur, the trust has offered to donate the additional property to the HRA rather than sell it on the private market. Before accepting the donation, the HRA attorney has recommended that due diligence work be done. This would include reviewing title work, inspecting the property, and conducting an environmental site assessment to determine the site's suitability and feasibility for redevelopment. The attached preliminary donation agreement establishes the terms under which this could work, could occur, and the timeline for the donation and its acceptance of the property. If, after this due diligence, the HRA concludes that it would like to accept the property, the HRA would agree to pay property taxes after closing until tax exemption is approved. That would be an estimated $60,000. The appraised market value of this property is $4.2 million, over $4.2 million. The property owner representative was not available to be here tonight, but I am happy to take any questions you might have.
Is there any questions? Yes, go ahead.
You spoke already about demolition. Do we have funds for upkeep as well? Because I noticed that there needs to be some maintenance on the exterior of one of those buildings already. So do we have something in our budget for upkeep?
I'm sorry, my mic was not on. Thank you for the question, Commissioner Seppel. We do have development funds available in our Development Opportunities Fund that could cover the cost of the taxes, second half taxes, as well as the upkeep that needs to be done on the property at 1600, and if any maintenance was needed to be done on this property. Those are available. We will have to revise our budget, which we will do as part of this upcoming session to be prepared for August.
Thank you, because I want to make sure we're good neighbors to the other people that live along that corridor. Thank you.
Yeah, so just to clarify, the existing building, we will be doing something to cover that, or at least patch up the building wrap that's on it?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Hayford O'Leary. The Tyvek has started to come off, and yes, we had our building division go out and take a look, but I believe we need a crane to come out and secure that. So we are working on that, and we'll be getting that taken care of.
Okay, great. And I'm assuming well, I guess you pretty much already said it would apply to this. So same spirit that we would hope to keep the existing buildings after purchasing this.
Correct. We would hold the buildings. We would not tear them down immediately. You know, there is a proposal for a velodrome at this site. We are working with the Minnesota Cycling Center, that we have an agreement with them about our two sites. They also have an agreement with the Mathwig Trust. So we would honor that through our dates and see if anything comes of that. But yes, in the meantime, we would not tear down the building unless it was necessary.
Okay. Yeah, well, in general, I'm supportive of this. It appears very generous, and this seems like a great opportunity, understanding that we need to verify everything, but I support the recommended action.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask, so you kind of alluded to this, the agreements, we would either put that into our agreement or honor their existing agreement for the MNCC.
That's correct. We would be looking to close on this property by June 15th. I can't remember the exact date that our agreement with the Minnesota Cycling Center goes through, but it's somewhere in that neighborhood. It's once the legislative session has ended. So yes, we would continue to honor that if it went a little bit beyond this, and then we'll continue our discussions with the Cycling Center as well.
Yeah, I think it's great to be able to market all three together. It was always challenging, a little tough having this one in the middle and of our other two, so this is fantastic. Anybody else? All right, is there a motion for approval?
I will recommend that I will make the motion that we approve the attached preliminary donation agreement with Olin One LLC to explore the acceptance of the property at 1620 and 1640 78th Street East.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any last comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes. Back to my agenda. So that takes us to item number 6, HRA discussion items. Is there any HRA discussion items? Yes, go ahead.
So I would like to thank City Clerk Leslie for being our secretary and wish him well in his new adventures.
Thank you. I want to give a shout out to LaTanya Dubois for getting myself and Commissioner Hanson back on our city email. So I appreciate her and staff making that happen. So thank you very much, LaTanya. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead.
Well, first off, if anybody is unhappy with any development projects, I know that Evries at richfieldmn.gov is working again. So what I wanted to say, I came directly from a bike tour of planners, and that was just kind of a fun experience to have planners both from the region and from outside as the National Planning Conference, which I guess Melissa's also been in attendance at, and Sam Crosby, one of our other community development staff, participated and helped lead the tour. But we had a group of about 25 folks, did an 8-mile loop around Richfield, and got to share some of our successes with bike ped and development and hear some of their ideas. So it was a lot of fun.
Great. Anything else? All right. Item number 7, Executive Director's Report.
Thank you, Chair Vries Daniels. I do not have a report tonight.
Right. That takes us to item number 8, claims. Is there a motion to approve claims?
I'll move to approve the claims.
It has been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And the claims are approved. Takes us to adjournment of the HRA meeting. Thank you, everyone. Take a deep breath. Everyone, ready to start the EDA? Okay. All right. It is 7:19. I will call the Economic Development and Authority meeting of the City of Richfield of April 15th, 2024, calling to order. We'll start with the open forum, so each speaker is to keep their comment period to 3 minutes to allow sufficient time for others. Comments are an opportunity to address the EDA. Please refer to the EDA agenda and minutes webpage for additional ways to submit comments. You may also call 612-861-9764 or email ldubois@richfieldmn.gov with questions. You can call into the open forum by dialing 1-415-655-0001 using webinar access code 2634093312, and the password is 1234. Seeing no one in the audience for open forum, is there anyone calling in? No, okay. All right, that takes us to the approval of the minutes of the regular Economic Development Authority meeting of March 18th, 2024. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting minutes have been approved. All right, we will start with item number 1, which is a presentation of an overview of the Elevate Hennepin program. I will pass it off to Executive Director to kick us off.
Yes, thank you, President Freese-Daniels. The EDA partners with Hennepin County on the Elevate Hennepin program, which provides resources to support businesses and entrepreneurs as they plan to launch, grow, and evolve. Through this program, businesses in Richfield and other Hennepin County communities can access no-cost professional advising, cohort learning, business events, and other resources to support their business goals. Tonight, we have Brandon Bell with Hennepin County here to present us with an overview of how things have been successful for businesses in Richfield. Welcome, Brandon.
Hi, thank you. So I have a presentation here. There we are. Thank you very much. So thank you, President and board members. My name is Brandon Bell. I am a senior planning analyst with Hennepin County. Thank you for inviting me to come and talk about the collaborative work with cities throughout Hennepin County to support businesses through the Elevate Hennepin initiative. Our cities are our partners and collaborators in connecting Hennepin County businesses to valuable skill-building resources that help businesses strengthen, stabilize, and grow. Elevate Hennepin is Hennepin County's flagship business support program. Uh-oh. I think I pushed something.
Just click the mouse.
Just click mouse, that works fine. Perfect, thank you. So Elevate Hennepin is a small business resource hub that utilizes resources from the county, state, federal government, and cities within the county. This service is provided by Hennepin County and Elevate Hennepin's partner cities like Richfield. So thank you, Richfield, for participating in this. I just want to give a high-level overview here of what Elevate Hennepin has to offer, and then get into some of the details as we continue through the presentation. So one of Elevate Hennepin's largest offerings is the 30-plus business advisors that are under contract. Every business in Hennepin County has 25 hours of free access to each one of those advisors. That's 25 hours per advisor. I'll talk about their services a little later in the presentation. Elevate Hennepin also offers classes and peer-to-peer learning cohorts. We are a content connector, meaning we connect people with resources outside of Elevate Hennepin, as we discussed with like federal and state resources and city resources. And then in order to guide people efficiently, we also have a business navigation service where people can sign up for a simple 15-minute phone call, and we can help them navigate all these resources. They talk about their businesses, what their needs are, and then we connect them with the resource, with the advisors that they need. Because we have about 40 advisors, and that's a lot for someone to navigate through on their own. So we connect them, we find out what specialties they need, and we connect them directly to those resources. So this is a chart that shows how Elevate Hennepin works in trying to address the needs of all small business owners within the county. From that emerging entrepreneur who just has an idea to start a business, to our second stage small businesses that are looking to expand regionally. You can see some of our programs there. We start off with CEO Start, and we have our advisors, and then it goes all the way up to CEO Next, which I'll talk about here in just a little bit. So one of our major offerings is we offer one-on-one consulting. We have 40 different professional advisors. They are mission-driven for for-profits and nonprofits. They're community-based. We have culturally specific and multilingual advisors, and they're specialized practical and professional business advisory services. So this is what these people do for a living. So this is a list of the services our advisors provide. There's business planning, legal, branding and marketing, financial management like access to capital and getting loans, human resources, technology supports. It really covers the gamut of the issues that small business owners and entrepreneurs are dealing with. We also have legal services and HR. Oh, I did have HR in there. The way we are able to offer business owners in Hennepin County this consulting expertise is by entering into contracts with a wide variety of nonprofit organizations, community-based lenders, independent and for-profit consultants. And as you can see here, 92% are locally led, 69% are women-led, and 69% of those advisors' services are BIPOC-led. So now I want to talk a little about our workshops and peer learning opportunities that we have. So CEO Start is the program for people that have an idea and want to start a business or in the very early stages of starting a business. It's for people who want to take that idea and make it into a full-time endeavor. We just finished our first 2 cohorts of that, and it was very successful. Just a high-energy group of people that now have this group that they can rely on that are in the same stages of their business, and they're looking to launch these new businesses. CEO Now is the next step for people with a business that have between $250,000 and $1 million a year in gross revenue, and between 1 to 10 employees. And then lastly, CEO Next is for those that we classify, I should say CEO Now actually so CEO Start is just for Hennepin County entrepreneurs and small businesses. CEO Now is now open to Ramsey County businesses as well. So we've partnered with Ramsey County to expand this program because it's been so successful. CEO Next is for those that we classify as second stage businesses. Those are businesses that have between 1 million and 50 million in gross revenue yearly, and between 10 to 99 employees, and have demonstrated growth in the last 2 to 5 years. This program operates with Ramsey, Scott, Dakota, and Carver counties as well, so businesses can be from those counties and participate. And this is for all for-profit businesses. All 3 of these cohorts are different in certain ways, but they all share the commonality of being heavy on peer-to-peer learning. You know, we have highly trained facilitators that are there to drive the conversation and help them critically think and critically analyze their businesses, but it's really that peer-to-peer learning that helps develop a cohort. And it forms this room of trust. So these people end up meeting afterwards, and they rely on this cohort, for years after this has happened. And it's just it creates a really great business community. Oh no. Let me see here. There we go. Sorry about that. So another one of our cohort programs is Elevate Tech Essentials. This is for small business owners that they're looking to incorporate technology into their business. It helps teach people about this technology, and it also we offer a 75% reimbursement for implementation of this after they have completed that course that goes up to $1,500. And I believe we've served up to 100 people with that so far, so it's really helped out. And then 2 of our other programs are Elevate Construction. This is a one-on-one consulting that specializes in construction services. And then Certified Access Academy that supports women of color entrepreneurs in contracting with government and corporate entities. You can find all of these resources at elevatehennepin.org, where you can easily sign up also for that 15-minute consultation with one of our business navigators, which I do some of that, and so speak to a lot of small business owners. So now I just want to go over some of the numbers. Here, this is just a high-level look at some of the services provided by Elevate Hennepin. We started really collecting these numbers for Q3 and started doing city-specific reporting just beginning in 2023. So this is all the numbers for 2023. We served over 1,100 businesses, provided over 14,000 hours of consulting. There was an average of 13.2 hours per client, and 33 Hennepin County cities were represented in this. In terms of financing, we've helped some of our small business owners achieve over $19.5 million in financing. That's for 111 businesses. We've helped create 405 jobs for 105 different businesses. And then we've helped with the launch of 135 businesses. Here you can see our demographics of the people that utilize Elevate Hennepin, which we feel is in line with how the county is really trying to reach out to our county's underserved communities. So we feel like we've been doing a good job based on what we're seeing from our demographics. And this slide shows usage by city. As you can see, Richfield businesses are really doing a good job utilizing Elevate Hennepin resources. There's a lot of businesses that are using it in a high amount of hours, so that's a great sign that people know about the program and are utilizing it. And then lastly, we send out these quarterly snapshots every quarter to the different Elevate Hennepin partner cities. And this is the Q4 data for Richfield. I looked back at all the quarterly reports before I came here, and Richfield is consistently averaging around 12 businesses per quarter, which is a very good number, especially for the size that Richfield is. It's a really good job. Having those numbers shows the hard work from you and Richfield staff members to connect small business owners in Richfield to these small business resources. So lastly, I just want to say Hennepin County really values the partnership with our cities like Richfield. City staff are able to have those closer connections with their community and give us feedback on the program in regards to what is needed. So thank you once again for partnering with Hennepin County on this, and then I'll open it up to questions.
Thank you. Anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I guess I would just start by saying I think this is really a wonderful program. We love to see our budding entrepreneurs who maybe would have a stumbling block to be able to this program to help bridge them to success. Just a quick question on the advisors, the level of service the advisors provide. Is it strictly advice, or would they actually go ahead and maybe even perform some services? So if I was a budding entrepreneur and I need some legal help or something in HR, would someone actually like file the documents for me, or just simply tell me what I need to do?
Yeah, they'll file some documents for you. They'll help you create a business plan. Like if like you said, if you're an emerging entrepreneur and you're trying to start a business, maybe you need a business plan to get a loan or something like that. We do those services. Our legal services will help you out with those things. Our marketing and branding people will help you, design a logo and help you like create your website, and like redesign it and stuff like that. So yeah, they do a lot of hands-on work.
Yeah, go ahead.
I recently was just talking to a small business owner here in Richfield, and he was very excited because he's going to be joining the CEO Now cohort. So it's good to see it out in the community, and I appreciate all that you're doing for us.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had a lot of success with that program, and I think they usually meet there's a reunion every 6 months that they all get back together again, because it really forms this tight-knit community of people that they can rely on each other. And especially with that new CEO start that we're working on, those idea stage entrepreneurs or just started a small business, when you're in that position, you can feel alone. You can go to the online and look for stuff, but now you have a group of people that, you've really formed this trust over all these weeks, and it's just great to see those.
Yes, go ahead.
So when people are receiving advice, are they paired? Well, first off, who actually gives the advice? Is it like county employees, or is it like partner organizations and people that work in those industries?
Yeah, it's advisors that we contract out through. So these are mostly for-profit and nonprofit businesses. These are people that own their own small businesses, consulting business owners, and they do this outside of Elevate Hennepin as well. The only advice we give is through business navigation and connecting like businesses that call us and have some issues and they want some help and they want to know who to connect to. That's the only advice that we give them, is these are the advisors that are good for you, because we know these advisors, we know what they're good at. Like maybe an advisor has a multilingual specialty, or they're better working with idea stage entrepreneurs compared to a second stage small business, so we know where to send them.
Okay. And then, I should probably already know the answer to this, but do cities then pay to participate and be a member city of Elevate Hennepin, or?
Yep, cities, all the partner cities pay an annual fee, and it differs based on how big the city is. And that comes with that quarterly reporting. We try to attend events if there's any events that the city would like us to table at, like a farmer's market. I've been in touch with Jan about different things that, we might show up to for Richfield. We can also help with door knocking events, like if you want, if there's like a section of the city that you'd like us to help out with door knocking with city staff, we can do that. So it comes with as a partner city, I like to phrase it as, we're here to boost your efforts. And then I think another large advantage is someone, I used to work for the city of New Hope, coming from city government where it was a business owner would come into the city and say, well, what resources do you have for me? And you always just had to say, well, the county has something or the state has something. And now you have a resource. You're a partner in this. It's your resource too. And you can say, well, we do have something. We contribute to we're a partner with Elevate in Elevate Hennepin. Here's what we have to offer. And considering how hard it is, it's to get these resources that we can all pool together and really offer that. It's great to work together. And like I stated earlier, the advantages of working with the cities is the cities know your businesses better than we can because we're covering such a wide area. So it's great to be able to communicate and work together on those.
Thanks.
Thank you for the presentation. I love seeing the numbers and love to see how much Richfield is participating in this because I think it is such a great program. Would also love to think about how are there ways that we can elevate some of the businesses that have come through this? How can we, share more about these small businesses that have gone through this program via our social media or so forth? Might be really good too.
Yeah, so one of the things we are working on is it's in the process right now, we're trying to compile a list of all of our CEO Start, CEO Now, CEO Next, really compiling a list of all those people that have participated in those programs and getting it out to the city so that there were, I believe, 2 people from Richfield in the Bloomington CEO Start program. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? Thank you for coming. Thank you for the presentation and for all the great work. Really
Thank you for having me.
All right, that takes us to approval of the agenda. Item number 2, is there a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The agenda has been approved. So item number 3, EDA discussion items. Are there any? Yes, Gordon, go ahead.
Well, in the Penn Avenue corridor, there's a big change underway. It's the Flint's Diner, which has been there for a few years, took over the old Brugger's building. Actually, their last day of business was yesterday. And there's it's a Twin Cities-based chicken strips place called Nashville Coop that's going to be taking their place. And they act fast because they're not open yet, so don't go eat there tonight. But they've already changed the signage on the building, I noticed as I was driving to the meeting tonight.
Oh my goodness, that is fast. All right, anybody else? I'm sad to hear Flint's going, but excited to see someone moving in, and I think that corridor's had some new businesses also coming in. So there's a new grocery store there, so that's really excellent to see. Yeah.
We were able to visit the new grocery store, and it was really exciting to see that new business open up.
Yeah. Excellent. Hopefully they maybe can use Elevate Hennepin. All right, anything else? All right, seeing none, we'll move to item number 4, Executive Director's Reports.
Thank you. I do not have a report tonight.
Excellent. Are there claims? Yes. Is there a motion to approve claims? Anyone?
I move approval of claims.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, concerns? No? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The claims are approved. And that takes us to adjournment. Thank you, everyone.